The first thing I thought after watching this week's episode of Blockade Battlefront was, as soon as I finish up my review, I'm gonna jump into the Corey-mobile and go get me a friggin' hamburger. This week's episode of Triple B was a combo meal of pure satisfaction, and it was also just a downright charming episode of the series, which, in the grand scheme of Blockade Battlefront, I really don't think it's going to change anything in terms of, like, the big developments for the characters, you know, because basically this whole episode was just about Leo becoming friends with this weird little freaky mushroom, alien, demon, alter world being thing, and he's completely obsessed with hamburgers, and he also has to stop him from spreading his spores all over the place, which give people mass amnesia. It's a really weird freaking episode. Then again, this whole show is just completely nuts, but I really love it for that. And I really loved the vibes I was getting from this episode. A real old school, mid-90s anime vibe. A lot of that probably has to do with the fact that the creator of Trigun has been working on this series, and there was a direct callback to that in this week's episode where White said, "Love and peace." Oh yeah, Trigun live on for freaking ever. My favorite thing about this week's episode, without a doubt, is the artwork and the animation. There is so much attention to detail to just the characters in the background, whether they be weird aliens or demons or robots or mecha people. It's freaking weird, and it's just always fun to sort of rewatch all those scenes and see things that you never saw before. And it's just an absolute joy to see Leo and Nedge just hang out together. Nedge is hilarious. Just the little mushroom guy. He's completely burger obsessed and indestructible, and they certainly established that at the beginning of the episode. Like, he gets hit with a truck, and by the end of it, he's being beaten with a bat by these two goons who apparently are working with the mob. They don't really firmly establish what these two guys are doing, but they're trying to take advantage of Nedge, because when you beat him over the head enough, he turns red and he spews these spores all over the place, which knock people out, and it gives them mass amnesia, which is pretty freaking dangerous. At the end of the episode, both Leo and Nedge end up losing their memories, but they basically just sort of end up resetting the beginning of the episode. They run into each other, and this scene is really funny because they build it up to be really emotional, with Leo eating a hamburger and getting all nostalgic and remembering his old friend, even though he technically has no memories of him left. And then suddenly, you see Nedge running across the street, and he ends up getting smacked by a freaking truck. It's a really, really funny scene. The bonus in this week's episode is that we get to learn that White's brother's name is Black, Black and White, White and Black. You get the idea. Pretty much that's all we know about their characters so far. Maybe he's one of those 13 elders, maybe he's related to them, maybe he's a vampire, maybe he's an alter-world being. We're just going to have to wait and see. I really have no idea what they're going to do with this, but I'm excited. So what's the rundown? On this week's episode of Blockade Battlefront, this was a very nice, heartwarming, goofy, bubbly episode of the series. And what I really loved about this one is that it's starting to remind me of Space Dandy. It's sort of giving me that feeling just of how ridiculous everything is, all the background characters, you know, there's just so much to see in this series, and it's a show that begs rewatching, if only to see all of the little minor details and everything. The music is also just absolutely amazing. You know, the opening sequence, the ending, they're great, but just all the music inserts in every single episode just add a lot of atmosphere to every single scene. And there's a lot of scenes that just make use of animation for animation's sake, like with just Leo and Nedge hanging out in the park and going around just eating hamburger after hamburger. It's really funny, it's really heartwarming, and you want to be there with them. You want to be in the park eating hamburgers with these guys, you know? It's really inviting and warm, and that's what I really liked about this episode. Of course, on the technical side of things, animation, artwork, voice acting, music, it was all top-notch. This is just a really nice, stylistic show, which I'm really enjoying quite a bit, and it's really unpredictable. I really never know what's coming next. I never imagined that this episode would be about Leo becoming friends with a mushroom kid who's obsessed with hamburgers. Just, did anybody predict that? If you did, you're a freaking wizard. All I know is this week's episode was pretty freaking awesome, so I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5, and I don't know about you, but I'm getting ready to go get a hamburger. So clearly, I liked this episode a lot, but what about you guys? Did you like this week's episode of Blockade Battlefront? Did you get anything out of it? Did you have a favorite scene? What do you want to see from the rest of this brand new anime series? Please tell me in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching my review. Make sure to like it and share it with all your friends, subscribe to the channel, and follow us on social media. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby!